Hey guys, so I will, I'll probably be the first to admit that this might not be the video a lot of y'all are like wanting to see. Um, I understand that progression is a little late. We're a little off. We have run into a snag where we tried to work on a solution. We ran through a bunch of different options, and we have a workaround. Next Friday, there's going to be a video more directly addressing progression, as well as the future of progression, and I'm not going to say much else. I was tucked away in bed, snug as a bug in a rug, when I realized, oh, it's the 23rd. If you would like to look here, the ban list is here. In banned pairs, if A is included in the deck, B is banned, right? All right, so oh, okay, that was great. I have seen what's on the list. I more kind of want to talk about this. These are banned or restricted from August 31st, 2024. We have promo 123 Ukomon. It was intended for this card that could be combined with P130 Louis Owada and used in a variety of decks, but the importance of this one card turned out to be much bigger than predicted, as it increases the speed of control decks that don't require a level 3 and provides many options by securing memory. That was a really bad cadence there. As a result, there's a difference in power between decks that can use this card and those that can't, resulting in a loss of diversity in the decks that can be used. For the reasons above, we have decided to restrict this card to one per deck. I think that is great. A lot of people were wanting it to be outright banned. I was super going back and forth. If you're in the Discord, I talked a lot about it being banned versus it not being touched, because it's like a promo card from like the movie, and like coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, like stuff that kind of like pushes people towards their other IPs. Like there's a whole thing about Firewall Dragon, right? So I think this is great. Having it at one means you really are not going to be seeing it nearly as often as you want to. Our deck's still going to run it at one, probably. But here's the next one, is P130 Louis Owada. By repeatedly combining effects that aren't once per turn, such as BT6088 Matt Ishida, with this card's on-play effect, the game speed accelerates dramatically, making it difficult for many decks to compete. Yeah. Unfortunately, any card that does not have a once-per-turn effect is going to become broken at some point in its lifetime. Because various decks use countermeasures against this combination, decks that are strongly affected by the countermeasures are no longer able to perform as effectively as they should, resulting in a loss of diversity in the decks being used for the above reasons. So, and I'm, again, like, I was literally about to fall asleep. So I am a little tired right now. So let me break this down here in a way that makes Tired Oak make sense, right? So this paired with cards that were not once per turns, and it sped up the game to a ridiculous amount, especially when paired with Ukomon. So decks formed counterplays to this, and those counterplays were messing up other decks. So this decks that could have a chance to compete in the meta but didn't have the space to run this package, the Ukomon Louis package, those decks were struggling against the countermeasures against this strategy, and this strategy is so fast, so consistent, that decks were pushed out of the meta because they didn't have space for the package and couldn't compete with the counter plays that beat the package. And so they have limited both of these cards, which means you have a almost zero. It is all but guaranteed that you will not see these two together. If you do run one of each in your deck and you open both of them, you have to keep it, right? It doesn't matter what else is in your hand. The rest of your hand could be terrible. You kind of have to keep that. And then if you if you don't see them, if you see one but not the other, it can get a little weird. So I think this is great. I'm excited to see how the meta shapes up after this. this 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 one this is the one that kind of woke me up. I saw the Uko. I was like, yeah. I saw the Louis. I was like, yeah. And I was like, Hammer Spark to one. This card has been used in decks that include blue cards for a long time, but the increased variety of cards available now allows for more card drawing, making it possible to have multiple cards in the hand and use them consecutively in one turn. As a result, it's become easier to speed up the game, widening the gap between decks that can use this card and others. For the above reason, we have decided to restrict this card to one per deck. So, especially with multicolor card, there's two color cards. Like Melga is a deck that runs purple and blue. So in theory, if you have the space, you can run 4 Hammer Spark in a Melga X deck. There are like Imperial Dramon is a deck that if you have the there are, and like I'm so tired, dude. But and for better or for worse, we are at a point in the game where one memory can be the difference in a game sometimes. So blue decks being able to run rampant with this, especially earlier on, like the early days of Digimon up until I think like BT5, BT6 is I think where this card really started to drop off. It's been like a couple. Oh, it's been a couple of years, dude. This card is strong. Being able to run 4 copies is ludicrous. I told people so many times this card would never be hit. It's not used anymore, or like it's good on paper, but blue decks have better options and stuff to run right now. I was so staunchly set in my ways, set in my beliefs that this card would never get hit, that it's so funny to me that this has been hit, because I think there's probably like 10 to 12 people who I could DM right now and be like, hey, so I kind of gaslit you about something and I was wrong. Awakening of the Golden Knight. This card is used in decks that mainly use BT16 102 Magnamon X antibody, which has a high usage rate in recent game environments. When combined with cards such as level 3 cards that support Digivolution, it was possible to keep BT16 102 Magnamon X antibody on the board early on and move toward attacking. The above play is very powerful and creates situations that many decks can't handle. To fix this issue, we decided to restrict this card to 1 per deck. Oh, so BT9, the last format I was really going hard in and really playing was post Banlist BT10 EX3, that kind of format, like right before BT11 came out, before the BL structure deck. So and this is due to my locals shutting down. I no longer have a locals in my area, so all my testing, all my playing, going into the Greenville Regional last year, every bit of preparations I did was on Tabletop Simulator and remote play. So my options for facing stuff is kind of limited. I do not have a lot of experience against Magnamon. I have played against it. I have played against multiple variants of it, but I don't think I have enough of a grasp on the deck or its game plan to give much of an insight on if this is a good hit or not. I've seen what Bandai has done when they want to balance a deck. I remember what happened to my poor Belphemon. Okay, I remember that purple. I remember those purple hits when the Gabumons and the Iceman Scatter. I remember that, so I know if Bandai truly wants to keep a deck in check, they know how to do it. So I'm gonna trust them on this for now, but part of me, and I know this is kind of biased, would like to see a Magnamon hit. And not even biased, but I guess educated would probably be a better word. I would rather see a Magnamon hit than the option. But again, I don't have a locals. I don't really have any competitive experience for the past couple sets. That's coming from a place of, again, under education. That being said, I trust Bandai. Speaking of X antibodies, BT15057 Numamon X antibody with no that I'm not super surprised. When using Numamon decks, this card has high board retention from the beginning of the game and its inherited effect can be reused when combined with other cards, allowing this single card to significantly increase the ability to control the entire deck. In addition, since a level 6 can also be played by its effect, it's easy to digivolve from there to level 7, which has a higher output to create a one-sided control board at an early stage. For the reasons stated above, we expect this card will play a very large role in the deck, resulting in a loss of diversity in the cards included. For the above reasons, we have decided to restrict this card to 1 per deck. So above, very powerful situations that many decks can't handle, right? Easier speed of the game, widening the gap between decks that can use this card and others, right? The loss of diversity in decks being used. This is specifically loss of diversity in cards included. So they don't even want to kill Numamon. They just want people to make diverse builds with it. I think that's interesting. Most time when you think Banlist or when you see Banlist, you think, oh, they're trying to gut decks, they're trying to kill decks. In my experience between Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon, I don't think I've ever seen a hit designed to change how people build a deck and make builds of the deck more diverse. I've played against Numamon. I personally am not the biggest fan playing against it. I just kind of sit there not really interacting much. I'm personally not the biggest fan. That being said, it is a strong deck. The people who play it love it very much. So hopefully this does achieve that goal of diverse builds and doesn't outright kill the deck. Kind of like the option card for Magnamon, only time will tell. BT14, if you like, I have a vaccine deck profile. If you're in the Discord, you know I play vaccine. Let's go. Having multiples of this card in play makes it easy to continuously and significantly increase memory, guaranteeing stability in yellow vaccine decks and others that use this card. Also, this card's role through the entire game becomes significant since the effect, which increases or decreases the security guards, can be activated for a low memory cost. On top of this, having memory gained after recovery effects lets the player do more and makes matches take excessively longer. For these reasons, this card will be limited to 1 copy per deck. 100% perfect. Security control, like yellow vaccine Magnamon decks, 3 Great Angels, vaccine. Any deck that can put something into security for whatever reason can benefit off of this, right? You could run this in Mastamon, and Mastamon would put something in the security and then pull something out, and you get to suspend this to gain 1 memory. This is a phenomenally powerful card, and hitting it to 1 is great. Obviously, I speak for a lot of people I saw on Facebook, at least, which I know is a terrible source of information, by the way. I say that knowing I'm going to post this to Facebook. But I speak for a lot of people I've seen in Facebook sections. This is a card that could be very good in security control, and after Worlds last year, I don't think anyone wants to see security control win it all again. So I think this is a great hit. I say this as a vaccine player. I will have to get a little more creative with my deck. I've just lost 3 cards. I can feel that. Hopefully this does take a good blow to more control style decks, and hopefully decks that really draw the game out, and decks that go to time really easily. Hopefully those decks either speed up a bit or just are seeing less play. I think this is a good hit. I think this is a healthy hit. I will have to change up the vaccine deck I play, and I personally am not upset by that. Restricted cards that would be lifted from August 31st, 2024. Okay. I saw the card. I saw the card number. I don't remember which one specifically it is. So I need to see the image. Started X603 Gabumon in past game environments, and this card was widely used by combining it with a Digimon that had an effect that let it attack consecutively and activating its inherited effect that doesn't have a once return multiple times. It increased the speed and consistency of decks that made use of the trash. However, as this card pool has increased in recent games, in recent game environments, there are now more ways to suppress attacks. Because of this, we have determined that it has become more difficult to consistently activate this card's effect multiple times compared to before. Therefore, we decided to change this card from restricted to unrestricted. Let's go! All right. Started X6 Gabumon. I did just have to double check that this was the one I'm thinking of when attacking draw one, trash one. Yes. I want this back at 4. I love this back at 4. I think this is incredible. One, my focus is I can now play 4 copies in Belphimon. This is a really good, and I'm so biased. Like I just an unbelievable level of bias. This is such a great unhit. Purple decks that really wanted to draw and trash get a consistency booster to them. You know, there are Leviamon decks that may end up playing around with this. I know my Leviamon deck, I might play with some ratios, try this thing out, kind of help cycle stuff, switch up, change up my hand a bit. I know, obviously, my Belphimon list is going to change again. This is a fantastic unhit. I think this is a phenomenal unhit. I recognize my bias. Very, very great. 10 out of 10. No notes. So, overall, what do I think is going to happen here? Well, decks that are abusing the Ukomon Louis are going to have their power cap absolutely kicked down a peg or two, right? Some of these decks are, I think, going to go from like tier 1 down to about like tier 2, maybe tier 3. Hammer Spark, this is still crazy to me. I think this is insane. You know, for better or for worse, I don't think blue decks are going to suffer too much because of this. But again, as with every ban list, only time will tell. Same thing, I don't have the information or knowledge on yellow Magnamon decks or Magnamon decks in general, so fingers crossed this does something healthy for the game. Numon X Antibody, yet again, only time will tell. I don't think Numamon decks are going to die. I hope they become more varied, and that builds kind of ebb and flow a bit. My hope is this right here, that the diversity of cards does begin to increase. I'm a vaccine player. I keep saying it. I'm hoping this kind of caps the knees of harsh security or like harsh control decks, and to an extent that does include vaccine. So one of the decks I play a bit more casually, admittedly, but one of the decks I play is going to take a blow here. This is perfect. Absolutely no notes. This never should have been limited in the first place, and I have absolutely no biases or emotional investments in this card being unlimited. I think this is flawless. I think this is perfect. I think this is the greatest unhit to ever happen. I have to edit this. I have to make a thumbnail and edit this. That being said, again, next Friday is going to be a video about what's going on with progression and about what is going on with the future of progression. I am so sorry. I've missed a couple episodes. I've missed like I think like 2 or 3 maybe weeks, not episodes, weeks. I've missed a couple weeks. So again, I'm so sorry about that. Uh, we have a plan. We looked at a bunch of different options. We've settled on what is the best thing for us, our schedules. And again, next Friday, I will put out a video informing y'all what's going on with that, because I know people are wanting to know what's going on with that. But hopefully this ban list diversifies the format. I've done a good job padding this out, by the way. I hope it continues to be diverse. I hope that this continues to keep the game in a relatively healthy spot. And again, people are probably going to disagree with that. But, you know, only time will tell. Once August 31st hits and these all go into effect, we will see how everything lines up. That being said, I have some Belfamon lists to work on, so I will see y'all next week for an announcement. Thank you so much for watching. Please, I don't know, Digivolve the subscribe button. I think that'd be cool. And I'll see y'all next time.